Welcome to another episode of What's It Like? It's your friend Anming here. 皆さんこんにちは。大家好. This episode is really difficult for me because we're going to be comparing two places that I really like. The first one is Beijing, where I spent 2 years, and the second one is Tokyo, where I also spent 2 years. These are cities that I absolutely love, and they are huge and they are really, really crowded, just as you can see here on the Tokyo subway system. But don't be fooled because Beijing is also very, very crowded and has a ton of people. So from natural scenery to cityscapes, we're going to be looking at what you can do in Beijing and what you can do in Tokyo. Now, they're very different places, but you're going to see some similarities and some differences. So let's start with Beijing. Now, something you probably didn't know about Beijing is that you can go skiing there because it's quite a lot colder than Tokyo, especially in the winter. I went skiing with my colleague and my roommate, and she did not like it, let me tell you. It was a disaster. So we started off pretty good. Everybody was all smiles, and we were just riding and having a good time. But shortly after that, I realized that it wasn't going to go so well. She started to get really nervous.
怪不得咱们这个不让走，我们太傻了。我跟你说，我们真是笨蛋。
And pretty soon my roommate was nowhere to be seen because she was still up on the hill and I was going down a slope of fake Beijing snow. That's right, it's fake snow. Just look at the sky, there's not a cloud there, and there's not going to be because Beijing is very dry, in the winter especially. Tokyo's wet, it rains all the time. Beijing just about never rains because it is semi-desert. So, oh, there's my roommate. Let's just go ahead and skip to summer. I'm sure when you think of Beijing, you think of the Great Wall, but how about the unrestored part? Because quite frankly, if you're on the other part, you're just climbing something that was redone in the 1980s. This is the real deal. And there's kids climbing it.
Wow, 小朋友，你好厉害！你刚才做了什么？你爬了长长。我们在哪里呢？不知道。没是玻璃台。
Okay, the little girl doesn't want to talk to me, but I thought she was really amazing because this is the restored part of the Great Wall, which was done, like I said, in the 1980s, and it is very difficult. Those steps are high, and you can see people struggling behind me just to climb up this thing. But if you go to the right part, there's a slide at the end, which is really, really cool, and it's way longer than you would think. You're on this thing for like forever. It's like half the fun. But be careful because there are some bad drivers there. I mean, they will just stop right in front of you for no apparent reason whatsoever, especially on crowded days. So be careful. And if you're not, and you're looking at the scenery and not paying attention like I was at certain parts, or filming a GoPro video like I may have been doing, you're going to crash. But that could be a lot worse. So yeah, this is a picture of a nice Beijing day, and this is a not so nice day. I took these. Yeah, there's pollution, but we deal with it. So next we're going to be talking about Tokyo. And When you think of Tokyo, you probably think of a huge, striving metropolis, which is true. It is a big city. It's very dense. It's a much smaller area than Beijing, and it's very, very densely populated. But there's also, it's a prefecture, so you can go out into the countryside, which is where I found this waterfall. There might be a lot of people hiking out there, depending on if you go during the middle of the week or if you go on the weekend, but it's very peaceful, and that would be West Tokyo, so not actually Tokyo the city, but Tokyo the prefecture. And it's just so clean and so beautiful out there. I mean, I mentioned the pollution in Beijing. Tokyo has pollution, but it doesn't even compare. And you can even find a bamboo forest, but this place is hot. It is so hot and humid in Tokyo. Beijing feels better in the summer. There's a lot of tradition in Beijing and tradition in Tokyo. You can go to Meiji Jingu, Meiji Temple, and see people having their weddings every once in a while. And of course, Tokyo's claim to fame, which Beijing does not have, is the cherry blossoms, sakura, and people wearing their traditional clothes, yukata and kimono, out when they walk around and go flower viewing. So these were all planted, by the way. They're not natural. Big clumps of cherry blossoms don't just grow over a bridge. They planted these many, many years ago for people to enjoy in the city, and I loved it.
Where from? America.
America.
What did you do to him?
We tried to kill him. Our little baby poked me. He wants to die now. We tried to kill him. He's walking him out of the fire.
So dirty.
You want to help? You want to kill him?
He's done.
You can just grab the... You can just like this. 無理でしょ。怒るでしょ、絶対。
No. Nope. Michigan. No, I wish. I live in a cold place.
Don't you love when random strangers talk to you on the beach? No, I'm totally okay with it. And I love going to the beach, and I'm glad there is one near Tokyo because there's not one in Beijing at all. But most people don't go there for the beach. They're going for Harajuku and the shopping and the cutesy stuff, which, by the way, really adds up. That stuff is kind of expensive, as opposed to Beijing, where you feel rich because everything's cheap. There's also a Disneyland, which has been here forever in Chiba, which is not actually Tokyo, but close. There's no Disneyland in Beijing, but there is one in Shanghai. It was built around 2016. There's lots of temples in Tokyo, as well as Beijing. And there's Kaminarimon, which is where I'm at right now in Asakusa, very famous. And then there's always people doing stuff that I don't understand. Like, I don't know what's going on right here in this scene. I've seen similar things in Beijing. I didn't know what was happening then either, but I believe there's a method to it. And they have some sort of purification ceremony as well when you go into temples like Meiji Jingu, Meiji Temple in Tokyo, where they drink water and they wash their hands. So what do you guys think? Would you rather go to Beijing or rather go to Tokyo? Actually, they're both very cool. I can't say which one's better than the other because I like them both. So tell me your favorite thing about Beijing and Tokyo in the comments section now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.